So the Dan Hooker Arman Tsarukyan beef is just evolving. It's just gonna keep evolving. The other day, Arman Tsarukyan was on the Rampage Jackson podcast, with the fake chains and all that stuff, and he was talking shit about my boy Dan Hooker. We're gonna tap in. We're gonna see what my boy had to say. Let's see what Arman had to say.
Did something happen that we don't know between you and Dan Hooker?
No, we're just talking.
Just that's it.
Yeah.
But
because I know when we're gonna be in one room, he's gonna shut up and just listen me.
What? When I know when we in the same room, he is going to shut up and listen to me. Listen, I understand English is not Arman's first language, right? But that made no fucking sense, Arman Tsarukyan.
Because I know like these people, they just can talk on the internet, but when they one-on-one, they scared. Like,
how do you see a fight?
I promise you, bro, Dan Hooker's not scared to fight you, bro. Dan Hooker's one of those dudes that's not really scared to fight anybody. Listen, the dude took a fight with Justin Gaethje. I'd rather fight 2 Arman Tsarukyans than 1 Justin Gaethje. If we're being 1,000%, bro, I personally, as a man, would rather fight 2 Arman Tsarukyans than 1 Justin Gaethje. No glazing at all. Justin's just like terrifying. That dude just like puts people to fucking bed. I'm cool. You know what I mean? At least Marticio's Gamrot took it, won. Beat him up and won. Like, if you beat Gaethje, it's a fucking war. Dan Hooker accepted that. All right, Arman, bro, let's be serious. And you're gonna sit here and say if you meet up with Dan Hooker 1-on-1, you really think he's just gonna like be quiet? You can't speak English, bro. He's, no offense, bro, but you cannot speak English. He's gonna talk mad shit about you, and you're just gonna sit there and just like throw a water bottle at him or something. I don't know. You're mad emotional. You punched a fan because they threw the middle finger up at you. Let's be real. Let's finish.
Between you and Dan Hooker going.
I'm going there to play. Just easy money. I mean, I don't know. Like,
oh my God, I love it.
All right.
But it's a
somebody needs to be on this podcast and check him and be like, nah, I mean, like, bro, I don't think it's that easy money. Dustin didn't really have that easy of a time with him. Nobody who's fought, I mean, well, some people that have fought him have had an easy time with him, but he's in his resurgence. It's the Dan Hooker resurgence era. You're lucky he broke his hand against Justin Gaethje. Now he's gonna fight you. Let's finish.
easy money. And I mean, but if I beat him, like, it no makes sense fight for me.
Yeah.
I don't need money right now. I need belt.
What are you, bro? What are you on about? It doesn't make sense for you. Dan Hooker's ranked 6 in the lightweight division. You are ranked 1, and you cannot fight for the belt. Look, bro, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. You can't fight for the belt. You're banned from fighting for the belt. Dana said, because you decided to pull out less than 24 hours notice. And that's kind of what started the beef. The beef has been going on forever. These dudes have been chirping and yapping at each other forever. Like, look, so back when Arman decided to pull out on 24 hours notice, Dan Hooker says, Arman, how did you get injured on your day off? I thought the whole thing was pretty strange. That bad of an injury last minute is strange, which is facts. Said it during, submission radio. And he also said, Daddy can't buy you a backbone. Arman comes from a gang of money. Watch the embeddeds. When Arman is on a UFC card, please watch the embeddeds. Bro's pulling up in Phantoms. He's acting crazy. He's pulling up in Range Rovers, double R's. He's acting ridiculous, bro. Dude's been living in a mansion on islands. He's been doing his thing. And you already know he tried to sit here and, impress Nina Drama by doing that weird spinning back. I should have pulled that clip up. That weird spinning back thing that he did. Hold up. Arman back stretch. It's gonna pull up, right? Is this it? This. What the fuck is that? Like a repeat for real, Arman? That's what got him hurt, and he pulled out less than 24 hours later. And then, after Dan Hooker literally broke his hand and had I think it was a week, 2 weeks notice, broke his hand, Arman had to sit here and say, Karma don't miss. Big mouth, glass hand. Maybe just stick to talking instead of fighting. At Dan the Hangman Hooker. And then Dan said, if only your dad pulled out quicker than you did your last fight. Glass hand, haha, glass house. You know, listen, off of that tweet, you cannot sit here and say Dan Hooker is going to be quiet when you're in a room with Dan. Dan is going to walk circles around you. He's going to look like Chael Sonnen on that stage. You are going to look not good. You know what I mean? And if we're being real, Dan has 12 first-round finishes. He's in his career resurgence. He has a 78% takedown defense. He swarms shit. They have common opponents. You, Arman Tsarukyan, went to decision with Martisios Gamrot, 5 rounds, and you lost. Dan Hooker went 3 rounds decision and won. So, MMA math already tells me off the bat, Dan Hooker is going to whoop your ass. I don't want to see these comments glazed in Arman Tsarukyan, bro. I don't. He does not deserve to fight for the title. You heard it from Dana White already. After he pulled out, he's not allowed to fight for the title. It's either going to be Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira or Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker, right? Because rank 5 is retired. Rank 5 is going to fight rank 4. We already know. Dustin's retirement fight is Max Holloway, right? For the BMF belt, that's how they're going to get rid of Dustin, right? And more than likely, that's how they get rid of Max, right? If we're being real. So, Dan Hooker, in reality, is rank 4. He's ranked 4, right? Dan Hooker's ranked 4th. If you're following me, Ilya Tuporia is somewhere in this division. He's not ranked, but he's somewhere in this division. Okay. Who the fuck is Ilya gonna fight? Islam. Ilya's gonna fight Islam, and Charles Oliveira is gonna fight Paddy Pimlet. Alright? Give me Dan Hooker versus Arman Tsarukyan. Please. No. Give me Dan Hooker versus Arman Tsarukyan. Oh, I'm out of my mind. I'm out of my mind, boys. But I do think that Dan Hooker does beat the shit out of Arman Tsarukyan. 3 rounds or 5. What do you guys think? Let me know. Anyways, boys, peace out.